Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the New England Motocross Show, brought to you by Snow Pro Trailers, presented by Factory Connection and Planet Fitness. I am Travis Stewart, and this is Mike Treadwell. Welcome back to the show.
It's good to be back here. Spent the weekend in Pennsylvania racing, and it was a good weekend, hot weekend. We got the weather that we're getting now last weekend, so it was brutally hot, but it was good. Good to be back home, though.
So you guys put the Planet Fitness team on the mark for Loretta's.
Yes, we did. We put the me and Keith Johnson so far qualified for Loretta's, and then we got Eric Rondel going in two weeks, I believe, to Virginia, and hopefully he's the third guy on the team, and hopefully he puts it in for the team. Should be
good. After this, we got plenty of footage from around New England. This is the New England Motocross Show. Welcome back to the New England Motocross Show, brought to you by Snow Pro Trailers, presented by Factory Connection and Planet Fitness. First off, we're heading to Heman's Motocross Park in Minot, Maine, where Winchester Speed Park Series and the NEMXS Series came together. Moto 1 of the 125A class was set off to be a battle royale as Wisniewski, Almy, and Dowd went up against the 2007 Loretta's champion, Michael McDade. Wisniewski had an awesome start, with McDade stalling on the start and coming from dead last. On lap 1, the 18 would go down, handing the lead to Dowd, and McDade would give chase. Dowd would take Moto 1, and we talked to Mike McDade about his return from injury.
I got hurt in Dallas at the Supercross. I broke my arm, my right arm, and my sternum. It's been 9 weeks. This is my second time riding, and just training off the bike with the cast. We've been working hard and getting a lot of stuff done, and we're ready for High Point.
Moto 2 would show why McDade is nationally known. An awesome start would put him up front, but he still had the legendary John Dowd on his back door. All three leaders would swap position as this moto progressed, and soon McDade would re-injure himself on the rough Heman's track. Wisniewski and Dowd then began to battle it out, coming very close at times. Dowd would get caught up in lap traffic and give the win to the 18 of Chris Wisniewski, although Dowd would take the overall.
Battle with Dowd was awesome. I got second on the whole shot. McDade got the whole shot. He was doing really well for a lap or so, and I managed to get around him in the S corners after the start, and after that, I led every lap. Dowd pressured me in a lot of corners, most of the track, and we got into a lot of lappers. Yeah, it was a great race. He's an awesome rider. I beat him, which was awesome. I think that was my first time ever. But yeah, won the race, felt good, and took the W home. Had a great time.
Then out of the box came the 125B class with a packed gate. A first corner crash would give the main cycle rider Casey Myrick a huge lead. Behind him, Dana Stacy worked on Kudlick for a second spot. Casey knows this track well and managed to pull away. Behind him, Stacy was able to do the same on the 14 ride of Simone. And in Moto 2, Dana Stacy would rip a big hole shot. In this moto, Myrick would have to come from behind, and that wouldn't be an issue as he has made some good passes early on. he would make his way to the front and get the overall win. Second would be Stacy, and Simone would land third.
I've been to pretty much every association in New England. I've done pretty well in the B class. Hoping to take it into the rest of the year and the regionals, hopefully win a championship.
The C class went as follows. The number 06 of Barvin would take first in the 125C. UC and Open C would go to Matthew Valienti, and 250C would be won by the 127 of Jonathan Woodall. The C class is always a good spot to look for future talent. And in this race, there was plenty of potential. Super Mini was a completely packed gate with over 40 riders lined up. The first corner would be clean, and the fast guys got moving early to break away. The lead quickly went to the 557 of Mike Carlton, who was able to hold off the pack for the overall. Second overall would go to the 722 of Connor Rowe, and third went to Ben Fitzpatrick. These finishes were all over the place moto to moto. This was one of the best races of the weekend. It was another great showing for Myrick in the Youth B class. He again pulled the early lead and walked away. The battle in this one was with Magoon, Wilson, and Ledger, all of which would make their way around Dana Stacy and battle it out. Brian Wilson would make the best showing with a second overall, and he earned that spot. By the time he had Casey within his sights, the moto was near an end.
Today went good. The first moto I wiped out, dislocated my finger. I had to pop it back in, but second moto in the youth I got a second, and then just came back from the other youth, pulled off a third, I fell, so it was an okay day.
Moto 2 was more of the same, with all around great racing. When the women's class went into Moto 2, it was the 265 of Brittany Gagne that was holding down the pole position. Angela Crowley had a second in Moto 1, but as Moto 2 went off the line, there was trouble in store for both of them. In the same race, the girls' class was run and showed the 441 of Ryan Stacy with the early lead. Gagne went down early in a corner and would have to work her way back up from fourth. On the lead was the 334 of Andrew, who would end up with second overall, as Gagne worked her way through the pack immediately. Ryan Stacy started working through the women's riders as she pulled away from the 76 of Valier. Now Gagne was on the hunt for Andrew, and there was still plenty of battling that went on behind them. Brittany Gagne would end up with the overall. John Dowd would easily take the win in the 250A class. $250B was a close race between Simone and Visconti. The 14 of Simone would go 1-2 to take the overall. The 50 Open class is where it all starts for these riders, and by the looks of it, the number 12 ride is off to a great start. He would pilot his KTM away from Ezra Miles and the rest of the stacked field to take the overall. The 85 AB classes were crazy because there was so much going on. 3 different races with the B 12-15 showing a battle between the 711 of Lash and the 380 of Miller. B 7-11 was won by Connor Rowe, and the battle up front was between the 557 of Carlton and the 333 of Gonzalez. Gonzalez would have to come from way back in Moto 2 to make the pass for the lead and take the overall win. Open A was won by Wozniewski, with Almy finishing in second. Open B was a cool race that saw the 22 of Ledger making a huge comeback in Moto 1 to get the win, but the overall would go to Dana Stacy on the 441. Here's some of the action from that first Moto slugfest between the top riders.
Tired of hearing the word no? Casco Bay Ford's Alternative Credit Department will work with you and your credit situation. Recent bankruptcy, past repossessions, divorce, slow pay, charge-offs? No problem. Let Casco Bay Ford help you get your credit back on track and get you reliable transportation from our great selection of new and pre-owned cars and trucks with the best warranty in the business. Don't let your low credit score lower your standards. Come to Casco Bay Ford's Alternative Credit Department and get the second chance you deserve. Call us today or visit our website, where the only no you should hear is no problem.
Welcome back to the New England Motocross Show, brought to you by Snow Pro Trailers, presented by Factory Connection and Planet Fitness. We're going to head right off to Valley in Norridge Walk, Maine for the Maine Motocross Series race number 6. We'll get it started off with the UC class, where we saw the debut of Zach Williams on a big bike. James Allen would make a mistake and hand the lead to Zach. Williams would do well with the lead, charging away from the pack and taking the win in Moto 1. In the second moto, we saw Allen pulling the early lead and not faulting on this one. As Williams went down early in this one and was out with a broken wrist, the 890 rode well to get away from Lavertru and Cody.
I'm here with Mike Cody in the 125 Youth C, coming in second. Tell me what happened.
Oh, well, I started off kind of bad, and then people started falling down, and just worked my way up to the front and ended up getting second.
Nice job. Any shout out to your sponsors?
CNS Racing and Rock the House Drywall.
Feels good. I was behind in the points coming in today, so I think I'll take back the points lead. So
Very good. Would you like to give any shout out to your sponsors?
my dad, Pat, Federico from Custom Sled and Cycle, and my track, Mountain View Moto.
Vet Open Moto 1 was John McCann's from start to finish. Phil Taylor had some trouble getting his momentum up behind McCann and went back to the pits to prepare for Moto 2. In Moto 2, Taylor did just what he needed to do. He made an early pass for the lead and walked away from the two-stroke of McCann.
I'm here with John McCann in the Vets. Tell me what happened. You came in second.
Phil got by me and rode and protected the inside lines. There wasn't much I could do. I tried to get around him. He was fading at the end, but I just couldn't get around him.
Couldn't get around him. Any shout out to your sponsors?
Honda Suzuki World, Oakland, Maine. Thank you very much.
Junior Mini was another great ride for Garapi, in which he won both motos. The 231 of Ryan Petrin and the 753 of Harder swapped positions in both motos, with Petrin taking the second overall. Super Mini again went to the 208 of Albert. Open B was another challenge for the number 5 of Casey Meyer. He would put himself up against the Danny Power Sports ride of Longchamps, who has been untouchable as of late on his 450. Evan led early, with Myrick close behind, and early battles between Pepper and St. Peter. The two leaders would break away from the pack and begin their fight for the win. Corner to corner, Myrick pressed hard, but did not force the issue. In Moto 2, it was the same yet again, with Pepper still holding down third. This time, going into the last turn, both riders would get a little out of shape, but Longchamps would take the win.
I'm here with Reed Pepper. You came in third in the Open B. Tell me what's going on out there.
It's getting rough. Getting tired. Caught out. They're both going pretty fast, so I was just trying to keep my pace and keep up with them. I knew I couldn't catch them, but.
Any shout outs to your sponsors?
Pepper Logging.
Well, it's pretty much impossible to get a whole shot on 250F and against 450s. And it's a one-line track. I tried to get around him, but it didn't happen.
Took whole shot, and Casey has been on me the whole race. First moto, second moto. He's an unreal rider. Just, I don't know, I guess I got that 450. It apparently pulls a little more, and held him off both races, but he was slamming my back door hard. Just hear his back brakes on me, but managed to hold him off and take the overall.
Youth AB yet again looked like it might go to the 720 of Baker, who can rip hole shots like it's his day job, and managed to get himself out front of the A-Rider of Gray. Lunt soon chased after Parmelo, making a pass on Dorso into the back section. This is where the points race lies. Lunt led by 50 points going into this race, and he knew he needed to make a pass to maintain that. He again tried a little too hard too early, and made a mistake that would put the 52 Central Maine Power Sports ride out of reach. Baker would get the win in Moto 1, but in Moto 2 he would go down early with a crash on the first lap. Again, Parmelo held off Lunt for the win.
Here with Chris Lunt in the 125 Youth B, came in second. Tell me about the race.
Well, I haven't got a good start at all this weekend, and I just drove my way through the pack trying to catch Dylan, but I couldn't get him.
I'm here with Dylan Parmelo, the 125 B Youth. So you came in first. How does that feel?
Pretty good. All I knew is I had to get a hole shot and be able to win, and Baker went down and I passed him, and I just led the whole rest of the race and went as fast as I could.
Any shout out to your sponsors?
Central Maine Power Sports, Dillingham Performance, Spectral Oils, K&K Excavation.
In the women's class, Kayla Ray Ross would get the lead off the start, but it wasn't long before Brittany Terrian would take it over and get the win in Moto 1. In Moto 2, the 443 Kawasaki would take the lead, and the 14 of Burnham would come up quick to challenge. Courtney would have a miscue and go down in front of Ross and hand third to Terrian. On the next lap, Ross would go down and Terrian would take over second, and it wasn't long before she would take over the lead and get the overall win. Moto 1 of the 65C class went to Alex White, who has been riding very strong lately. Second went to the 610 of Jack Morin. Moto 2 gave the 233 of Alex Roy a huge hole shot, and Alex White would go down early in the back section. Now all Jack Morin would have to do is take second to get the overall win. Jack would stay close to Roy the whole moto, and White would put on a huge comeback to get third overall. Jack Morin would get an overall win in the 65C class for his birthday.
I'm here with Alex Roy. He came in first place in the 65. How do you feel about this?
Really good.
Awesome job. I'm here with Jack Morin. He came in second place. I hear it's your birthday. How do you feel about that?
Good.
Well, congratulations.
Both motos of the 85C was won by the 830 of Joey Quirian, who was followed by O'Rourke and Lowe. Also up there was Troy Morey, who would eventually go down, keeping himself out of the top three. O'Rourke would go down as well, handing third to the 869 of Blake Wilson. The 504 of Tony Landry was able to get a win in the 250C class, but was beaten by Skillings in the Open C. Both of these riders should do damage in the B class in the near future. Seth Taylor made his first ride back from injury a good one when he won both 125 and 250A on his Snow Pro Kawasaki's. The 125B class is where we saw the 95 of Zach Gagney's first showing in the main series. He would start off behind Myrick and try to plug away at the number 5. Dana Gray made some quick passes to get into third and started working towards the leaders. The Ravex ride of Slattery also made some good passes early. Zach was able to put a ton of pressure on Myrick, but it wasn't long before the 95 went down, got back up, and went down again. This gave Moto 1 to Myrick, with Gray and Slattery close behind. Kimball grabbed the early lead in Moto 2, but Myrick quickly made the move for the lead. Gray again made his way into second, but ran out of time to catch Myrick. Kimball would finish third, but third overall went to Matt Slattery.
I'm here with Dana Gray in the 125B. He came in second. Tell me what happened.
Oh, I didn't get a good hole shot, and I worked my way back up through the pack. Second, went down, and ended up, I was in third and got back by the kid and pushed hard until the finish.
Well, I've been getting good hole shots all day, and this time Zach Gagney was in front of me, but Seth Taylor took him out. He's expert. I don't know what happened.
Any shout out to your sponsors?
Team Main Cycle, Monster Energy, Spectral Oils, and Heman's Motocross Park.
250B was won by Longchamps, who gained a ton of points on Kimball, who now only leads the points chase by 17 points. Welcome back to the New England Motocross Show, brought to you by Snow Pro Trailers, presented by Factory Connection and Planet Fitness. Mike, we talked about a little earlier. Tell me about some of the big names from New England that showed up pretty good down in Pennsylvania.
We had quite a few guys down there. I mean, AJ Catanzaro was one that stuck out in my mind. He rode really well. Jimmy Dakotas always rides well. Both of them put it in to qualify, and Sade Allender made it in, Ryan Stacy, Dakota Alex, and the youth regional. All those guys came out of the youth regional. I think it was a week before that in Pennsylvania as well, but they all did well, representing New England. But we have a full list on the website, so if anybody wants to check that out and see who actually from New England made it in, we have everything on the website. But
yeah, NEMXS.com. That's NEMXS.com if you want to check that out. That's going to do it for us for the New England Motocross Show. Thanks for watching again. We want to say thank you to Snow Pro Trailers, Cargo Pro Trailers, Factory Connection, Planet Fitness. A ton of help from these guys, so support them. Go on our website. You can link up to those guys. Thanks for watching.